Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to day five of our Detox Fit and Focus Challenge. So we're going to check in this morning. Hey, Catherine, I hope you're feeling better. So we're going to do a check-in this morning, and I'm going to give a little insight on food fibs and food fairy tales. And then I want to talk to you about preparing for plateau, because after we've gone for a few days, our body's going to be like, what? What's going on here? And so you just want to be prepared for that. All righty, ladies. So welcome, welcome. We got Catherine, Amanda out there at the homestead. We got Lydia in the house. So glad that you got an awesome nap. That's always helpful, isn't it? It's always awesome. We've got Angie Merle and Miss Irma Reddick in the house. We got Cookie, who was the first one on this morning. And then we got Roshonda Carpenter. Hello, Roshonda. Good to see you. All right, ladies. So we're on day 5, and we'll be checking in here in just a moment, but I want to give us something to chat about before we start checking in. All right. So, hey, Nkeshi, good to see you on here this morning. Hope you are well.
Hi, Angie. Good morning.
Hey. So yesterday, I always reflect on, wow, I wonder how everybody took everything that I said. Do you ever do that when you've spoken to people and you kind of go back and you replay it in your mind, like, did I sound like I was just being hardcore or whatever? And so that thought entered my mind yesterday as I was talking to you. We were talking yesterday about um, retraining our brain and reframing our thoughts. And so we were talking about reasons why we don't drop the pounds. And I wanted to be gentle, but at the same time, I wanted to be very direct about what happens when we're not following the plan. We know that anytime that we do something that's off plan, there is going to be a consequence. That's just the nature of it. There's a natural consequence for everything that we do. And I am the queen of consequences. All of these consequences I've learned myself over and over. And so we have to go into this with our eyes wide open, recognizing that, when you have too much food, when you have too little food, when you're not getting enough sleep, when you're adding extra ingredients in, or you're taking supplements, or you're having wine, or you're cheating, you have allergies, maybe you're not moving around enough, there are a multitude of reasons why we may not be seeing the progress that we want. So we want to really shoot for 100%. I often say we need to strive for 5 in our plan. And the comfort is that in the 60-day cycle, it's not always like this. It's not always having to be this discipline, but there's such value in disciplining yourself. It really does. When we go through these first 11 days, the first 11, it really says a lot about, the strength of our character and the strength of our maturity. I'm telling you, I haven't nailed that 100% of the time. There are times when I jump off plan and I'm like, dang it, I'm the teacher and I jumped off plan, and I get mad at myself, and I want to be a woman of integrity. I want to do what I'm teaching other people to do. Well, that's something that I really want you to think about as you go through this journey. Do you want to do what you say you're going to do? Do you want to follow the plan? And when you jump off plan, are you going to own it and then just try to get back up and do something about it? These are serious questions to think about, because it really is a reflection of the rest of our lives, the way that we live our lives daily. It's a reflection of our spiritual walk. So I really want you to take this seriously about we've got to change the way that our brain is we've trained our brain to binge eat, to do all the things that we do when we get off plan, when we cheat or we rationalize away. We've taught ourselves to do this. And the great news is that we can reverse that. You just have to really make the decision that you're in it. You are in this, and there's something greater that you want. So I just wanted to say that just as a follow-up from yesterday. We talked about the fact that the number one thing that drives us to eat has to do with our emotions. Our emotions they tend to drive us. And especially as women, it's doubly hard because our brains process emotions first before it goes to logic. And so it's doubly hard for us compared to men. Men tend to generally have an easier time dropping weight and disciplining their minds because it's just the nature of things. They process from the logical center part of their brain, and then they go to emotion. Well, they have more time to cut off their emotion. So our immediate fuel is emotion, and so we have to create a delayed response. Like, okay, wait a minute, let me pause. Let me go into neutral right now. Let me recognize what the emotion is, and let me switch gears with that. Some of you know the ESP tool. You recognize the emotion, you switch into adult mode, and then you change your presence. So all of these things there's so much to learn, but we have to be willing to do that. We have to be willing to just stay the course. So when we check in, I'd love for you to check it. I'm going to put you into a breakout this morning to be accountable to a partner. And I want you to share how you did yesterday on a scale of 1 to 5. And you all know the drill, that 5 means that you were on plan, your timing was good, you ate the right foods, you followed the plan. 4 can be down, you may have been off on your timings, or maybe you didn't eat enough. I mean, when we get into the 3s, that maybe you had a spoonful of something, or you started to jump off plan, but all the way down to 1 is I completely fell off the wagon. I had a binge, and so now today I have to just get back up. So that's the 1. So I want you to share with your partner that, but I also want you to share with your partner. Let me get here to where I want to go. I want you to share either a food fib or a food fairy tale that typically works with you. So to clarify what I mean, a food fib it's something, it tends to come from the rationalizer. And a food fib might be, hey, I can eat now and I'll pay later, or I'll make it up later somehow. Like if I'm eating more than I'm supposed to right now, in my next meal, I'll just eat less and that will balance it out. That's a food fib. We know that's not true. What does come back to bite you. The thought that, hey, this isn't going to matter in the grand scheme of things. What I'm doing right now, I'm going to go off plan and it's not going to matter because I'm already at my ideal weight. But, so we'll rationalize it, or, just simply the concept, this isn't going to hurt anything for me to have a spoonful of cake. Or how about, here's another food fib. I'll start back tomorrow. We might even use our own mantras, like every meal is an entity unto itself. We know that that is true, that every meal is an entity unto itself and you can start over, but using that as a crutch is a food fib. Well, I'm going to start back tomorrow because after all, every meal is an entity unto itself, and you kind of blow it off, right? And so it's a way that just takes away from your discipline. Here's another one, another food fib. Well, I just had to eat something. My question is, are you starving? Did if you had to eat something, was it really the best possible choice? And my question is, did you prepare? Preparation is key. So even if you walk out the door with an apple, you're always going to have a backup. Even if we talked about yesterday switching the place of meals, if you absolutely have to, it's better to switch your meals. Let's say your afternoon fruit and your evening dinner. It's better to switch those around than to have nothing at all or eat junk food. So to clarify food fairy tales, this is what I call where we give ourselves this false sense of security and we live on past victories and all the things that made us feel good. The story that I tell a couple of stories on this, but for those of you that haven't heard, like ice cream, I would bet that most of us, we have some kind of food fairy tale around ice cream. We definitely have it around cake because we have cake at birthdays, we have them at parties, celebrations, but it's a food fairy tale like, oh, we're all coming together and we're having this big glob of sugary crack that we're putting into our bodies. And it's going to be so wonderful because we're together, right? I mean, we tell ourselves the food fairy tales, or like when I would win a softball game and we'd get on the back of the truck and my dad would drive us to the Dairy Queen and we all got Dairy Queen as a reward, when all along, as we were setting ourselves up to create pre-existing conditions in ourselves, right? And here's what I want to say. I know that till the day we die, we're probably all going to have ice cream at some point. We're all going to have it. It's always going to be a part of our DNA and our pre-existing conditions. But we've got to manage that and not let it manage us. And you'll learn in the 60-day cycle, we do have 2 days where you can eat anything you want, including ice cream. So if you are hearing that food fib that says, you can't ever have ice cream. And so the rebel comes out and says, I'm having ice cream and I'm gonna just do it, right? I mean, that rebel comes out and makes it like you're never gonna have it again. Well, you can. We're not denying, we're just delaying. So I've given you a lot to share, so I'm going to go ahead and put you in breakouts. I wanted you to share how you did on your plan yesterday, and then I want you to share a food fib or a food fairy tale that typically works for you, okay? So real quick, is there anybody here who cannot come off mute? Maybe you can show me by raising your hand like that. If you can't, let me know and I'll put 3 of you in the room. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put you in there. I'm going to give you about about 5 or 6 minutes to share. Okay. So I'm going to put Amanda and Catherine together. I've got Irma, Lydia, and Nkeshi, and then I've got Brandy and Cookie together, and then I've got Angie, Pamela, and Rashonda together. All right, here we go, ladies. One minute left, ladies. 1 minute left. 1 minute left. right.
So true.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Had fruit and stuff to eat and hi. I'll mute myself.
Brandy, you look so young.
I don't have any makeup on. I showered and washed my hair today. I'm not sure how to take that, Angie.
It's a good thing. I was thinking, she reminds me of my gorgeous teenager, Mackenzie Lee Nuttall.
Oh, well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was hair wash day and I bought some new gel. So I've never had curly hair in my life, ladies, never. Until about 5 years ago, I started getting curl in my hair. So I found some new hair gel. I'm trying to embrace the curls.
Okay. All right. All right, ladies. So I just want to hear, we don't have to go and do the full check-in, but I do want to hear from some of you. What came up in terms of food fibs or food fairy tales? Anyone want to share?
Sure, I can share, Angie. This is
Okay.
Rashonda. My food fib, first of all, thank you for the food fibs and the fairy tales. Very, very helpful. So yesterday I said, well, this is not going to hurt. I made like some soup, some zupa soup. And so
Yeah.
it has potatoes in there, diced size potatoes. Okay, I rationalized that diced size,
Yeah.
kale and Italian sausage. So it's not going to hurt. It's soup, small portions, who pigs out on soup? But that's why I'm here, rise and shine this morning. I've been in meetings the other mornings, but I said, okay, I got to push something back to get back on track for accountability. So yeah, thank you so much.
You are so welcome. All right. And thanks for sharing that. Size can be deceptive. Like if we say, oh, just a little bit of this, it's like, you guys know my saying about brownies. Well, just a little bit of doo-doo in your brownies, right? They're just a little bit doesn't hurt. And yeah, so we got to be mindful that even those little potatoes on this plant, they convert to sugar. And right now in this phase, we're really trying to eliminate as much sugar and as much fat as we possibly can so that our body can feed on the adipose that's hanging out here, this right there. We want our body to use that yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Okay, so anyone else? Someone else want to share about food fibs or food fairy tales? What came up for you?
I can share.
Okay.
Catherine and I came up with Catherine actually came up with it, a good analogy about wasting food. Everybody knows, I have a thing about just hate throwing food away. And so what Catherine said that she has started to tell herself is, I am not the garbage disposal. I am not the trash can. Like I do not have to be the one that, consume. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a really good analogy. So I'm using that.
That is great. That is brilliant. That's right. We are not the trash can. We are not the tail. We are the head. We don't have to eat. We don't have to be the trash can. Yay. I love that. That was a good one. I learned something today. Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
Yep.
All right. Anyone else want to share?
Something I did. Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Pamela.
Something I did last night is I rationalized. I don't know. I plain just was tired, and I came back home after being with friends that I meet with once a month and ate strawberries when I wasn't supposed to. But anyway, then that probably what did it count? Anyway, caused me to want the beef that I was cooking for Pete at that hour. I had leftover hamburger that had to be cooked. And so instead of giving it, I normally give it to a neighbor or girlfriend if I have extra food, or I'll freeze it. But I didn't last night. I had 2 ounces of beef, and it was the waste thing. It was the waste thing. And normally I will jump over to, I can give that to Candy tomorrow, or I can freeze but it had already been frozen. It was frozen and unthawed. So I didn't, for whatever reason, this time I didn't go to my normal, give it away, make it for somebody else. And I haven't figured out. I haven't. I just got off. I did really good all day. I had over 6,000 steps.
Good.
I just don't, anyway, I'm back on.
You just got to keep back at it. So I think that probably every single one of us here, we have encountered that pre-existing condition where we're not supposed to waste anything because children in Africa are starving. I talk about it all the time, but when I came to the realization that those kids are going to starve no matter what's on my plate or what's not on my plate or what's left over, that changed my whole world. And so we have to really start to put into perspective and ask the question, what is the truth? What is the truth? Kids may be starving in Africa, but the truth is that the reason why I'm eating is because I want that. It's emotional. It's an emotional thing. And so first of all, we simply have to own up to that. I mean, that's something I have to do with myself. Like, I'm not eating this because I know, I'm already aware, the memo is out that, that I realize that I have this pre-existing condition, but it does not have the rule over me. I can make the decision to be the boss over that.
Right.
And sometimes, I mean, we're busy ladies. Sometimes we're like, I don't even want to fight it. We get to that point. I don't want to fight it. I'm just going to give in to it. Right. And what if that were just life altering? What if that were to alter your life? Maybe I'm a fatalist. I'll just tell you right now. I have fatalistic thinking, like, oh my gosh, if this doesn't happen, then we're never gonna, or I mean, I get that way. That's something that's ingrained in me, something that it's a pre-existing condition. But sometimes I will take that fatalism and I will apply it. I will use it as a weapon against these situations where I'll say, if I eat this, I'm going to be miserable, and I know that I'm going to fluctuate on the schedule, and it's going to set me way back. So I will use that fatalism to speak to that area that I need discipline in. But this is the question I want to pose to you today. Angie, I know you had something you want to share, but I want to get this out just so that you can write this down and start marinating on this. But how would your life change if you changed your relationship with food? I ask that every single challenge, and I really wanted to sink in this time. How would your life change if you changed your relationship with food? Okay, Angie, did you want to share on the food fibs and food fairy tales?
No, sorry. I didn't know if I raised my hand. Sorry about that.
Okay, no worries. Anybody else want to share?
Well, I was getting ready to share from me and Cassie. We kind of have the same food fairy tale, food fib, where when relatives know you're coming over, they prepare your favorite meal or your favorite dessert because they know that you like that, right? So yeah. And so you have to be careful. Like I was telling her, I have a cousin, he'll fix me gumbo. But I have learned to put it in a container and bring it home and freeze it until I can eat it.
That's great way to manage it. I mean, you can have it. It's when the plan calls for it. And so, yeah, I absolutely love that. That's a great way to work around that issue. And instead of, well, I had to do it because he did make it and he would be upset if I didn't. So here's that harmony value coming out. And
Mhm.
we might even just use that harmony value. Oh, well, I didn't want to upset anybody. And the question, we got to be real. What's the truth in this situation? The truth is, oh my God, that cake looks so good. I had to have a piece of it, right? We got to own up to it. All right. So your question tomorrow. So we've got some. I see what you're saying, Roshonda. Yep. Hearing what you say, integrity will stick with me. Stick with me. Yep. Gotcha. Question of the day. How would your life change if you changed your relationship with food? So we will talk about that tomorrow. I do want to check in to see where are we? It's day 5. I know that Brandy is really on her day 1. Anybody want to share what your total pound loss is right now? Anybody want to share that?
I'll share.
Okay.
I'm down a total of 8.6.
Yeah.
Thanks to Amanda. She told us about the turkey, making the meatballs.
Yeah.
That was a hit for me,
And
along with rice cauliflower.
yay. Catherine's got 5.8. I have
I'm 5.
6.9.
Oh, I'm 5.2.
5.2. Yay.
Mhm.
All right. All right. How many of you have peed like 27 times every day? Me. All right. Well, ladies, let's keep it up. Let's keep going. We'll meet back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So, Catherine, have you got tomorrow? You're going to lead tomorrow? Okay. All right. Catherine's going to lead us tomorrow. And so you can follow up on our question about how would our life change if we changed our relationship with food. All right, everybody. Hope you have a good one. Bye.